Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into the AFV factory. I thought we'd have a little catch up on this E-50 Jagdtiger, as I've made a process on it since we last spoke. So the Ryefield tracks, which I wanted to use, they've worked pretty well. They're going to be long enough. That was my main concern, because the chassis is longer than the Jagdtiger that these tracks were intended for. I know you get an spare amount, but I wasn't sure whether there'd be enough to give me the right length, but there's plenty on there, and they're workable as well. Not that that is going to be of any relevance on this build, because it will just be it'll be stationary and static, and I'm not going to model the wheels in any position. They're just staying where they are. So that was good. And then the other thing that needed to come along was the drive sprockets, because the E-50 drive sprockets, as I said, the teeth alignment didn't match up with where the teeth locate in the tracks. So I went back to the Ryefield model sprockets from the Jagdtiger, because you've got more than one set in the box, and obviously these are made for this track, so they fit perfectly. Obviously then the thing that then throws up is the fact that where this final drive hub is, that's obviously intended to take the E-50 sprocket and not the sprocket from the Jagdtiger. So I thought about it for a little bit, trying to wonder how I was going to best get those to go in there, and I ended up cutting out these inner hubs out of the E-50 sprockets, and then gluing those into the Jagdtiger sprockets. Keep that still enough. There you go. So obviously that's worked out quite well. I've glued this one in, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to reinforce it with some sprue goo, which I've never actually used before. I know a lot of people do, so I'm just mixing up a batch now. Bit unsure as to how much bits of sprue I need to put in there, or how long that will take to fully dissolve, but we shall see. So this is how it looks when it's first removed from the sprocket. I used a power drill. Well, you can see in the video that I used a power drill, drilled these out, and yeah, if you have a look at the video now, and then I'll carry on with this and show you how I fitted these in. So we'll clean this up. We get a decent sanding stick. Just give that a clean up. Thankfully there wasn't a great deal of fitting required. Once I'd cleaned these up, they were pretty close to going in straight away. But this will make so much difference to when I come to fit the tracks. Obviously the sprocket won't rotate, but at least I know once I've when I fit it, it's going to stay in place. I was looking at building up the hubs and with bits of sprue or bits of spare plastic, which would have worked but would have involved more. Oh, it needs a bit more. Wouldn't have worked as well as this. You know, this is the this would be using the locator that was intended for the kit. So I'm just tapering this one end just so it fits in. And this one is a bit tighter than the other one. Sand a bit more off. I know this isn't very interesting to watch me sanding. Okay, well that one's going to need a bit more work to get it to go in, but you see the gist of what it is I was trying to achieve with this one. I won't carry on just sanding that because it's just, you know, there's only so much of that you want to watch. So the other thing that I did last time was I'd fitted the fighting compartment onto the chassis or the upper hull, and it had left some small amount of filing and sanding needed each side, which I've now done, as you can see. So I can now go ahead and retexture that. So I've got the Tamiya white top glue and my trusty stippling brush. The reason I use that one is because it's been used several times and the bristles are sort of, it's not smooth at all anymore. So you can see how quick this is to do. And because it still dries quickly, not as quickly as the extra thin, but it is still quick setting. You're not getting a excessively rough texture like you would say on a cast piece of steel, T34 turret wise, or what you might find on a Sherman transmission housing on the front there. They tend to be heavily textured because they're cast, and this isn't cast, this is rolled steel for the armour, but it does have texture to it. So I'll leave that to dry and do the other side, but I'll leave that there for now. As I say, I'll finish off getting that sprocket to fit properly. I can then start putting this together. I can put the make these two parts up now, because that won't interfere with the tracks. Now I know these ones will work. The back plate is ready to go on. I can then start looking at doing the mud guards out of the Coke can that I've been using. Yeah, so all of a sudden we're sort of rushing towards the finish line with regard to construction. So thanks for tuning in. If you haven't already, please subscribe and like, and any comments are more than welcome, and I'll catch up with you soon.